Third time's a charm. It's like the fourth time. Yeah, fourth time I had to restart this video because I don't know. Anyways, what's up, everybody? I just wanted to make a follow-up video. 2 weeks ago, I made a video about extended fasting. In that video, I'd been fasted for it was 36 hours. I had worked out, and I was at 36-hour mark, and I was going to go to 48, see how I felt, and go past that. So I ended up going 60 hours fasted with only water and black coffee for the 3 days that I was fasting. But what I learned is, and I've done some more research on this, when you do fasting like that and you drink too much water, you can pee out all of your electrolytes. So I believe that's what happened, because I start feeling really funny. Like when I woke up, it was 58 hours when I woke up, and I felt like I really had to eat. Like I couldn't go any longer. I couldn't fast any longer. My head was just like, I can't even explain it. But I don't know. I know a lot of people that do extended fasting, they will drink like a bone broth, which obviously if you're vegan, you're not going to do that. So I've heard you're supposed to, put some salt in your water, some sodium. So I haven't tried that because basically, you drink too much water, you're going to pee out all of your electrolytes. So that is what I believe what was happening, because I didn't feel right. I didn't feel like myself. Now, I mean, I can go 24 hours, even 40 hours and feel fine, but it's like beyond that, I am feeling definitely not myself. So, I did have an experience at about 48 hours, somewhat of a spiritual experience. I had an epiphany, and it like freaked me out. And I was working, and it was like, I want to say it was after midnight, maybe 1 o'clock, something like that. It might even been closer to 2. I don't remember, but I was driving in my, I drive a semi, but it was so weird because I like come to this conclusion, and I don't know if I should get deep into it, but I was driving along, had the cruise on, and this has never happened. And I mean, I've been driving a semi for 11 years. But I'm driving along, and all this stuff, and I'm thinking all these thoughts, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I just like had this epiphany. So I'm cruising along, the cruise shut off, and it was like, and I'm like, what in the hell? It just totally freaked me out. And it like, I had like the chills, and I don't know, it was really crazy. I felt like a presence was in the truck with me. I mean, dude, I was creeped out. I mean, it was crazy. I've had spiritual things happen like that, but not as intense as that was. It freaked me out. I mean, I was freaked out. I had to, and I want to say I was listening to a YouTube video at the time, and it was diving deep into this subject that I was involving myself in, and it seriously, I had to stop listening to it, and I put a podcast on about something else, and I mean, dude, it freaked me out pretty bad. So I don't know what it was, but I felt a presence, in the truck with me, and I mean, I started, praising the Lord, and I can't even. It was crazy. So, and what I was diving deep into, because when you start fasting, you can really, your mental clarity is like super high. So, and I was this, I was diving deep into this after 40 hours, and at this point it was 48 hours I'd been fasting. So, and somebody had started and this is how I got on this subject, and it was, oh crap, the word is escaping me right now, I can't think of it. What are you doing? The light's green. Oh, what is it? What the hell is it called? Schizophrenic. My uncle is schizophrenic. Okay. I lived at my grandparents' house with my mom until I was about 11 years old. But my uncle, when I was about 3 years old, he really scared my grandma and all this stuff. Well, I basically found out he was schizophrenic, and they put him in a home. He's been in a home for 30 years. Well, longer than that. A little longer than that. He's been in a home for over 30 years, right? With these, I mean, I don't know. I honestly never visited him except for when I was a kid, and I feel super bad, and that's what I was diving into. Now, how I got on this subject was, somebody was on Instagram, I can't remember who it was, conscious mind, something like that. But he really goes deep into some stuff, and somebody was like, I can't remember, he was going on about something and really wasn't going off topic, but he had mentioned schizophrenic and how to cure it. So I'm going in my head, I'm like, okay, schizophrenic, cure it. I'm like, man, I said, if I could cure my uncle, and this is like, I feel super terrible for the guy. I've only seen him a couple times since then, and it was at my grandpa's funeral, or my grandma's funeral, then my grandpa's funeral, and that's been 7-8 years ago, when they both passed away. So anyways, that's what I was seriously diving deep into. I'm like, what is causing schizophrenia, and all this. So I'm diving deep into it, started listening to YouTube videos and other things about it, and I'm like, man, I could, what if I, could get him to not be schizophrenic anymore. I could put him up in my house, and I'm doing all this, and I'm thinking all this, and I've had this conversation with my mom before. I said, I said, schizophrenia is curable. I said, what if we could cure him? I'm talking to my mom. I said, would you put him up in your home? And she was like, no, he could have his own place. And I was like, why are you so, like, my mom doesn't live with anybody. She's been divorced for 15 years now. Like, really hasn't had a boyfriend. Like, she's a serious loner, introvert. Like, I can't even explain it, and it drives me insane. But anyway, she said, she was like, well, he could just get his own place. I'm thinking, you've been at home for over 30 years. You don't have anything. He gets Social Security. He doesn't have anything. You know what I mean? I'm like, how could he have his own place? Like, what is going on in your head? Like, you're that. And the point is she's told me before, she's like, I really miss my brother. I loved it when we were kids, because she's got two sisters, and she's like, she doesn't really talk to her sister. She doesn't really get along with them, but it's a two-way street, right? It really is. So it's not just them, it's her as well. So I'm thinking, what if I, reverse this schizophrenia? I could put him up in my home, because he's missing out on a lot in life. I mean, he's never, I honestly don't know if he's ever, because he was probably only in his early 20s when he went into that home. So, I mean, I don't know if he's ever had a girlfriend. I know he was going to college. He was working, and I think he played some basketball. But, I mean, he's in his late 50s now. But he's been in this home for 30 years. So this is what I'm thinking, and I'm like, I'm diving deep into this, man. I am like, it's crazy. So, and I'm like, I'm focused solely on this. And I come across this video. Somebody's talking about how, and it was a Freemasonry curse. And I'm like, hold on. My mom has this coin, a Freemasonry coin, and it was my great grandfather's. Okay, like, I didn't know him. My mom didn't know him. He died when my grandmother was like 8 years old, maybe a teenager. I can't remember. And I talked to my mom since this incident, since I had all this, this was focused solely on this, and I'm like, what the hell? And I'm like, is there some kind of Freemasonry curse, and they killed him, and then cursed the family? Because, like, my grandparents, okay, let me think here. My great-grandparents only had my grandma, right? And then he passed away from a heart murmur. Okay, I don't know if I've ever heard of anybody dying from a heart murmur. Have you? So anyways, he dies of a heart murmur when she's, we'll say, a teenager. And then my grandma remarries, and then that's the great-grandfather that I knew. Okay? So, my grandmother meets my grandfather, and they have 4 kids. Okay, now 4 kids. This is gonna get a little deep, but I'm sure my family members won't be watching this video. So, so my uncle, schizophrenic, been in a home for 30 plus years. My one aunt. Ooh, man. My one aunt she's been married like 3 times, had an abortion when she was young. I mean, before her first marriage, probably. So, never could have kids after that. But, I believe that she didn't deserve to have kids. That's just me. And her second husband, she basically cheated on him, and he was the best. I mean, he was like my dad growing up. He was like my dad growing up. I didn't have a dad growing up, and he was like my dad. And he basically, he'd gotten a motorcycle accident, and this was after they were divorced. After she cheated on him, and he was like he really was a great person. Do anything for anybody, that type of guy. But he had gotten a motorcycle accident, and I can't remember what, something happened, and they said, well, we have to amputate your leg or something, and he said, no, absolutely not, I will not. So I don't know if he got gangrene or what the hell ever, but he died from that. And okay, so I'm still on the 4 kids. Okay, we can even dive deeper into this, but okay, so that's 2 of them. My other aunt, she's been married for close to 40 years now, and she has 3 kids. My uncle was in the Army. He retired early, 18 years in the Army. They've been to Germany twice. They lived in Germany for 8 years total. But like, she doesn't have a driver's license, doesn't do nothing. She's addicted to painkillers, basically, smokes a lot of pot. So I mean, there's nothing good going on with those 3. Then my mom, like, she's probably the most successful out of them, but like I said, she, and I didn't tell you this, but she doesn't work. She hasn't worked in 7, 8 years. She doesn't want to work. She's in the sheet metal union trade. I mean, that's what she does, and she's basically like, she only needs like 2 more years to technically retire and get her pension. But she, like, she doesn't want to work. She's scared to go back to work. She's such a introvert, and it's like, so is this a curse? Is this a Freemasonry curse that we're dealing with here? You know, I'm just like, holy crap. And I'm figuring this stuff out, and I'm like, holy crap. And this is at 48 hours fasted, and then the cruise control stopped, and I'm like, "Rrr," and I'm like, what the hell? It totally freaked me out. So that's that. I really don't know what else to say about it. So that Freemasonry curse, I don't know. So I know some things about Freemasonry, and it's associated with devil worshipping, and you know, they want us to think the earth is a ball, which it's not. It's flat. And it's, I mean, and I told, there was more to my uncle. Okay, so my grandmother, now, okay, she passed. She was only 70, right? Okay, my grandma and grandpa, they had smoked for probably 50 years of their life. But they really didn't have any health issues. But let me see here. My grandmother, I can't remember, she went to the doctor, I don't know, but they did a CAT scan or something like that, and they said she had a spot on one of her lungs. Okay, it's a spot. So they went in there, they cut her whole back open to get in there to that lung to remove that spot. They never once said if it was cancerous. Never did. Okay, so she didn't have any issues after that. I remember seeing her in the hospital when she had that done, and then she was at home, and I don't remember how much later it was, but they ended up saying she had some rare blood disease. I mean, like, she's 70. What the hell? So, like, you know, what the hell, you know? So, I don't know what the hell happened, but she basically died. She basically died at 70 years old. Didn't smoke no more, you know, and they never said that was cancerous. That spot on her lungs was cancerous. So, and there never is no real explanation of why she died. She had a rare blood disease. What the fuck, man? You know what I mean? So, and then, so she died June 21st, was buried June 25th. June 25th is my grandfather's birthday. So she was buried on my grandfather's birthday. Okay? And then we come to find out, my uncle died on June 25th, the day my grandmother was buried. Crazy, huh? So, then my grandfather died 18 months later. He basically died of a broken heart. He really did. He did have and he had been going to the doctor because he thought he had something going on. And they said, oh, no, it's nothing. You know, I don't remember what they said. It was nothing. Well, he ended up having this big freaking tumor I mean, it's big mass. I mean, it was like, he looked like he was a damn hunchback, you know what I mean? But he passed. So, but all this is just so freaking crazy to try to wrap your head around it all. And, I don't know what to think, man. I don't know. Is it a Freemasonry curse? Because I never really heard of such a thing until I came across this that night when I was fasting at 48 hours, or, 40 plus hours. And I'm like, holy crap, there is something to this. I don't know. Whatever. So, I'm going to make some other videos here soon about some other things. So, anyways, whatever. Like, subscribe, comment, share this video. Like it because you support me and you like me. Don't dislike it. Don't dislike it because I've got leather in my car. This is my wife's car anyways. Bought it used. I mean, what the hell are you gonna do? Tell them to take the leather out? Whatever. Anyways, hit me up on Instagram at fastingvegan. Email me at fastingvegan@gmail.com. And I'll talk to you guys soon. All right. Peace. See ya.